create branded land offerings across the country for consumers in India and Indian consumers outside of India. The largest landowner in the US is actually one of the wealthiest people in the world, Mr. Bill Gates. India generally responds to brands very well. Brand is not purely about advertising, but brand is on the back of credibility, consistency, and being sustainable over years to come. So being a recognizable brand, being a consistent brand definitely has helped us for large volume consumption by consumers across age group.
Buy land because they aren't making it anymore. In this whole Sleepless Ranges series, हमने warehouses के बारे में जाना, commercial real estate के बारे में जाना, primary real estate market, secondary real estate market, residential, हमने सब चीजों के बारे में बात की. पर एक investment opportunity ऐसी उभर के आ रही है, which is the category of branded land, जो आप miss नहीं कर सकते और आप miss नहीं कर सकते तो हम कैसे miss कर सकते? So yes, today our guest is someone special, someone I have learned a lot from, and the whole industry respects him for the marketing genius that he has been. And now he's donning the hat of CEO at Abhinandhan Lodha. They are creating a new category of branded land. उसमें क्या opportunity है, कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्या अलग है, और as a real estate investor or as any kind of investor in mutual fund, why this episode is very important, why this category is very important. ये सब आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे. So today we have with us Samujjwal Ghosh. He's the CEO of Abhinandhan Lodha. And today we'll get to know how this category of branded land is shaping up. What are the future prospects? Why as an investor is a great opportunity? But the larger question I know a lot of people are going to ask, Sleepless Ranges pay, so we are only going to get the PropTech founders. Then why a reality brand? Because एक टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनी की जो ग्रोथ होती है, जो स्केल होता है, जो स्पीड होती है, वो मैच कर रहे हैं हाउस ऑफ अभिनंदन लोधा, and most importantly, how they are trying to position them as a consumer tech brand. First time in the real estate space, and that's not something that I wanted to miss for our podcast. So I hope just the way I've had my share of learning, you are going to have a great amount of learning as well. So let's not waste time. Let's welcome Sam to the Sleepless Ranger. So lovely to have you, Sam, here. It's been almost a month since I've been trying to get hold of you, get you here on the couch, because all this while we've been meeting a lot many PropTech founders. And then I know the journey that you guys are facing. And there's something very interesting which I'm very excited about for today's episode. But before we go forward, let me just tell you how thankful I am. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks, Govind. I think there is a lot of commonality between your firm and mine, starting with the name. I am as well a pretty sleepless professional, especially which germinates from the fact that what we are trying to do as a business is category creation in a space which is extremely traditional by getting in new sensibility of consumer centricity, data, and technology. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely a pleasure. And I'm going to have a lot many questions for you. And I expect, all the viewers who are going to watch this content, they're going to learn a lot from today's engagement of ours. So let me get started. I've been traveling a lot between Bangalore, Goa, Delhi, and there's a lot of curiosity with regards to what is House of Abhinandhan Lodha really doing and where are they trying to go with it. So if you could just give the audience a little bit of an idea that, what is HOABL as a brand is trying to do currently, and where do they see a future here? Is there any need gap that you have seen because of which you are operating in a particular category? And what is this category all about?
So Govind, to really answer this question, I guess we need to trace back a little in history. History of land as an asset class.
Got it.
What is an asset? So asset germinates from a French word called as asses,
Okay.
which means enough.
Understood.
But land is an asset class, is a category where the world is not enough. We all know that wars have been waged and kingdoms have been plundered for land.
Land, of course.
And that is for the simple reason that land has always been synonymous to wealth, symbolic of status and power.
Yeah.
A fun fact is that the largest landowner in the US is actually one of the wealthiest people in the world, Mr. Bill Gates. So that kind of exemplifies the value of land as an asset class. Coming closer home and what HOABL intends to do is based on few consumer insights, category insights. Land probably is only rivaled by gold when it comes to wealth creation.
Absolutely, yes.
Having said that, land consumption at a retail level is largely riddled with a lot of barriers because of transparency issues, legal issues, so on and so forth. So such a valued asset class has never got democratized or has been evaluated by retail consumers like you and me as a means of generating wealth. Everybody believes that land can be traded, but they actually don't trade land from the sheer perspective that they want to have the comfort with the belief that land can be traded, but needs the comfort of liquidity. So what I mean to say is that land creates the comfort of liquidity when it comes to emergency situations.
Got it.
And I genuinely believe that land is probably the most credible means of creating intergenerational wealth.
Got it.
So what HOABL is intending to do is to create branded land offerings across the country for consumers in India and Indian consumers outside of India on the back of the challenges that riddle the category, which is that of security, transparency, wealth, and liquidity. So that's how simplistic the business model is. But as they say, executing the simplest of things is probably the most complex thing to do.
Absolutely, times. Yeah. Okay, so I've got hold of many things out of what you just said. I'm going to come on to those pointers later. But before that, could you explain us who is your target audience currently? So I've been seeing that, there have been many developers or individuals who've been trying to sell their land parcels in the past as well.
Yeah.
What is the differentiation? Do you see currently the customers that you're selling to? What are the reasons they're choosing you over them? And currently, if you could just give an idea with regards to who are these customers? Could you just tell us a little bit about their profile? What is the pitch like to them because of which they're believing in you? A little bit of an idea there.
Let me put it this way, all right? Is there anybody who we know or we deal with who doesn't want to become wealthy? You would rarely find anybody who would say that, no, I don't like creating wealth, I don't want to be wealthy.
True.
So anybody who wants to be wealthy needs to have land as a part of their asset portfolio. That's as simple as that. And that is what our target audience is. That whoever wishes to generate wealth for himself, for his family, and for the next generation need to have wealth as a part of their portfolio.
Okay.
Anecdotally, since there is so much of advent of the social media, there is a lot of misnomers around wealth creation, secure and credible means of wealth creation, and consumers end up taking a lot of wrong decisions. In fact, only 5% of retail investors have actually been able to beat the FD rates, and hence land bought at the right location at the right time and held over a longer period of time can be a phenomenal means of generating wealth across generations. And the consumer insight is predicated from this, from the fact that anybody and everybody who intends to create wealth considers land as an essential part of their wealth portfolio. HOABL intends to bring the values that has not existed in purchase of retail land. It's almost akin to the shampoo category, as I call it. People used to earlier use soap to wash their hair. Then they moved to shampoos. Then shampoos were available in larger SKUs of 500 ml, 200 ml, 100 ml, but still was not democratized. Then some smart chap came in and start making shampoo available in sachets, and without compromising on the quality of the product. So HOABL is in the sachetization of land, and specifically retail land in India, so that consumers across age groups, demographics, ethnicity, backgrounds, and irrespective of where they live, can participate in wealth creation through land. That's what the genesis is.
Got it. Now, for the audience, if there's a 25-year-old guy who's listening to you today, and let's say there's a 35-year-old guy, so I can see 35-year-old guy would buy this because I'm investing, I'm learning, I'm earning as well, and I got to invest. So I understand that I got to diversify my portfolio. But a 25-year-old guy, what would your pitch to him would be? Do you see more customers who are young generation, or they're more in 30s, late 30s?
The demographics or the mix of consumers is extremely healthy, and there are at least 35-40% first-time buyers of real estate. Leave aside land. People who have not dwelled into buying real estate are considering land, and it's on the back of three things, and largely enabled by tech. First is a lot of category education. It's extremely important that in a category which is lesser understood, one of our responsibilities as an industry leader is to create education around the category. So we spend a lot of time in educating consumers across age groups about things that I mentioned before, with evidence. Second is the ability and the recognition first, I guess, that today's consumers are extremely savvy when it comes to products getting marketed in the digital world. So the ability for the brand to make consumers discover land from a remote location in an extremely simulative environment becomes extremely critical. So that consumers can buy land at a retail level with absolute transparency and security through technology. So that's the second part, which is about the discovery of the product in a simulative manner. I guess the third part is that India generally responds to brands very well. Brand is not purely about advertising, but brand is on the back of credibility, consistency, and being sustainable over years to come. So, being a recognizable brand, being a consistent brand, definitely has helped us for large volume consumption by consumers across age groups. Uh, Even with a younger set of consumers uh, who are just out of their first job, who have kind of just got married, planning a family, so on and so forth. So that's largely what the mix is. I guess we have been pretty fortunate in creating an extremely exciting consumer franchise, which really elicits the need gap that existed in the category and which was just untapped to be discovered. So we have been reasonably successful in doing that, but there is significant headroom for growth as far as we are concerned.
Lovely. So, to all the audiences, let me tell you, when I asked the question about the guy who's 25-year-old, when I saw your ads and the communication that is coming along with the EMIs that are being offered, I really regretted that, why am I not 25? Right? Because at that point of time, I knew I'm not the guy who's going to go buy a home right away, but I need to invest into the right places and wish I had that opportunity at that point of time. So, all you guys who are young, do look at the opportunity when he said as an asset class, it is gold, mutual funds, the other places where you're investing. This is a phenomenon which is on the rise. And here we have Sam, who is actually the flag bearer of this whole category and the segment. Now, Sam, I will take a little bit of a diversion from where we were discussing only the brand. I'm going to come to you. You have been into this industry for what, 16 years? Yeah. And
I'm over that.
I'm like really curious to know, and of course to learn, what are the three major shifts that you have really seen into this industry since you started working in this space to now?
To be honest, I'm kind of seeing the same shifts that is there in typically any consumer facing category, be it FMCG, FMCD, retail, so on and so forth.
Sure.
I guess, and I genuinely believe rather, that that the category has moved on from becoming a seller's market to a buyer's market.
Absolutely.
And that's a massive paradigm shift where developers are putting consumer at the center of things, and any category that puts consumer at the center, and especially for a category which is so high on involvement, is bound to win. So the shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market in the last decade has been quite a phenomena as far as this industry is concerned. The second part, I guess, is the relevance and I would say refinement in the product offering. Today, borrowing from the first point, developers are looking at offering products, or for that matter, anyone who is in a consumer facing category, and this applies for across categories, are inherently believing in offering products and services which the consumers seek. So from the perspective of conventional real estate, if I have to say, what are the kind of areas that consumer need? What are the kind of amenities that consumers seek? What's the kind of architecture that would appeal to a consumer? So high consumer centricity as far as product is concerned. So that's second. I think third part, which I kind of mentioned in my previous answer is that there is consolidation which is happening.
True.
And consumers are raising their hands to buy from brands who want to have a transformational relationship with them rather than a transactional relationship with them. So brands which are credible, which are consistent with their promises to the consumer are going to last.
True.
And others will end up become dinosaurs. So this is these are three shifts that I have observed in my 15, 16 odd years of my being as a part of this category.
Super. And the last point which you mentioned, that the branded players are able to manage to extract such a great premium and the customers are ready to pay. It showcases what lies ahead in our future, and definitely something that is worth observing. And the consolidation as a play, definitely all the smaller players have to really work harder to ensure that what you said, it is not just transactional relationship which will work anymore. So point noted. Now I'm going to come to the next question. हमने ये समझा, whereas the customers could be investing into mutual fund or gold. You are saying let's do it in real estate, and real estate may be branded land.
Yes.
But there has been an understanding जहाँ पे there is a market for it, where real estate अगर बोलो तो people are like, okay, let's invest in residential spaces or the commercial spaces to get the yield and appreciation as well. But this is a new category which is coming, and you guys are the flag bearer. I wanted to know, how successful do you think you guys already are? Do you believe the category awareness that you wanted to create is already like there into the people's mind, or there's still some kind of a footwork which is needed? And going forward, how do you see this category evolving? And the last part of this question would be, currently in your portfolio, I have a problem with asking too many questions in one question to make it, to give good content to the customers.
Take one at a time.
Yeah. So the last part is, in current portfolio of yours, what's the breakout between the end users and the investor?
So, as far as your first question on what is the kind of success that we have garnered in our years. So, first of all, I think we just need to recognize, and I personally recognize, that we are a very young brand, and it is akin to a child.
True.
So at this stage, what I would say is that we are imbuing the right culture and values as far as the organization and the business is concerned.
Got it.
Exactly like you do with a young child.
Got it.
And the way you shape a child's initial years makes the child to grow in a particular way in the years to come, as an adolescent, as a teen, and as an adult. So my approach to the organization building is almost like raising a child.
True.
And we are trying our best as an organization to imbue the right set of values and culture as far as the company is concerned.
Got it.
Having said that, I guess we largely look at three parameters as far as the organization is concerned to probably measure success. The first is business performance, or the financial matrices. In a reasonably scant period of time, we have been able to create a trajectory of profitable and sustainable growth by focusing on the basics of creating what I would say the credible customer value proposition that works both for the consumer and for us as an organization.
Okay.
And just from the perspective of numbers, We grew 6x in the financial year 22-23.
Wow.
And for FY 23-24, we intend to grow by 4 to 5x, both in terms of top line and EBIT.
Wow.
That's one. So sustainable, profitable growth is a theme in the organization.
Got it.
The second part is brand reputation.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of the category that we are in,
Yeah.
which provides a very convincing value prop to the consumers,
Yeah.
and the ability to consume the product irrespective of what location that you are in, we have been able to create a significantly large consumer franchise where, because of the ticket size, because of the location, because of our promises, we have seen participation of consumers across the globe and not just in India.
Got it.
So the consumer franchise that we have been able to create is something that we are quite proud of.
Absolutely.
The third part is the most critical part as far as I am concerned, is people.
True.
We have been able to put an extremely eclectic mix of professionals coming from varied backgrounds in our organization. Because of our fundamental principle and belief that we are in an intensely consumer-facing tech category, we attract talent from outside of the category. So people from extremely pedigreed backgrounds as far as academics is concerned, or previous professional experience is concerned, we tend to attract people from FMCG, auto, retail, hospitality, tech, so on and so forth. And the mix of people that we have been able to assimilate in a pretty compressed time is going to be our strength in the years to come. That is where the next wave of growth and the next wave of innovation and newness will come from.
Got it.
So those are the three principles that will define our success.
Got it.
As far as the mix of consumers are concerned, I guess we have a very healthy mix till now that we have been able to garner. And rather than kind of putting it as investors or end users, I would rather say that the asset class is pretty versatile and fungible. So we have consumers who look at locations from a utilitarian and wealth generating asset class, like a friend of mine who believes that one of the land parcels that he has bought with us, he would repurpose it at a point of time to possibly fund his child's further education.
Wow.
Then we have consumers who have bought with us in Goa, in Alibag, where they believe that it has got the ability to be their second home in the years to come. So that is pure end consumption. And there are consumers who have kind of kept it open with the flux of time, how the entire location evolves on the back of various initiatives by the government, so on and so forth. They want to keep their options open where they will either use it for a liquidity purpose or for creating a home for themselves. So that's what has been the realization for us in the last couple of years that we have been in existence.
Super. Quite a learning exercise whenever that I'm sitting with you. Now, my favorite question, that something that I wanted all the audience to know, because I have observed it and I see that how you guys are transforming the landscape with the help of technology. So I have two questions here, but first is related to all my team members. When I mentioned that you are the one I want to bring on the couch at Sleepless Rangers, they're like, okay, how do we connect? Right? Prop tech companies are on one side, there's a real estate brand on the other side. So where's the connect? I know that the differentiation with the technology-led companies are why the investors love them a lot, because the VCs are in love with them because they can scale faster. You spoke about two numbers, 6x growth or a 5x growth or 4x growth. Now these are the numbers which resonate. What actually resonates in the technology-led company. And I know for sure that the larger positioning that you want to do around HOABL is about a consumer tech company. Would you love to throw some limelight on the fact that what are the tech integrations that you guys are planning or have already worked upon?
Sure.
And how do you believe that those integrations are going to change the landscape with regards to what is existing today to what can happen in future?
I guess that would be one of my favorite questions as far as the session is concerned.
I genuinely believe that there will be only two types of organizations that will exist in the future, and the future is pretty imminent. Either they will be pure tech companies, or they will be tech-backed companies or technologically enabled companies. For the sheer reason that technology in its current avatar and with further evolution simplifies the lives of consumers. And I guess right at the birthing stage of our journey, we have realized the immense importance of tech to make it easier as far as the consumer is concerned. And we have taken significant strides in that direction. So what HOABL Tech stands for is probably captured into three parts, which we are kind of running simultaneously. The phase one, I would say, is the ability for the consumer to discover the developments, the land parcels, remotely on the back of extremely simulative technology, where a consumer is transported to the world where one can have a real life experience of what it is about the product, the growth around the location, and probably technology being used to decide, or rather help the consumer decide on all the criteria that they need to make a purchase decision.
Sure.
That's been phase one, where our entire business model is based on remote discovery of land.
Absolutely.
The second part, or phase two of our tech journey, will be to behave like any other e-commerce business.
Sure.
Where consumer life cycle is purely managed on an app.
Absolutely.
Which is available on the consumer's handheld, and one is able to discover, purchase, and post-purchase management of the consumer purely on the back of the app. So that's what the phase two of our tech journey will be, which I believe will be a game changer as far as the category is concerned, and that is going to significantly simplify the lives of existing buyers and the new consumers who are going to purchase from us.
Got it.
The third part, or the phase 3, will be a day where HOABL Tech will be a full stack, brand neutral tech platform where other land buyers and land developers and land sellers can coexist and talk to each other on the back of tech. It's probably a little distant from today, but that is definitely an ambition that we are going to chase as a part of our tech journey. And that will be the real aha moment or a eureka moment for us. That's how I would probably capture what we want to do as far as the tech space is concerned.
Wow. So does that mean on the third part specifically what you mentioned that it could be a marketplace of sorts?
Yes. Yes.
If I have to invest in land, this is the place I have to come.
Yes. So our real moat is to make land, brand, wealth, and tech synonymous to HOABL. So that's what the intent is. That's what the ambition is. That's what keeps us sleepless, I guess.
I'm already having not many questions on that, but I believe we will, utilize a lot of time asking. But I'll ask you whenever that I'm engaging with you next.
Sure.
The next question, which is connected to what you just spoke, as well as what you spoke a while back, which is the shampoo example where the sachets are coming, right?
Sure.
That triggered me a question where currently in commercial real estate specifically, even in residential because of co-living, the whole phenomenon of fractional ownership has started sinking into the people's mind.
Yes.
And that has opened up an opportunity for small investors also, which I was talking about, a 25-year-old guy, just graduated from the college maybe after the job, and he can be an investor as well. So do you see in the coming future, we can be buying land with the help of HOABL via this fractional investment with very low cost units? Is it possible? You already have amazing ticket sizes, but will it be like brought down even further with the help of fractional ownership?
I'll probably try to answer the question in two parts.
Sure.
The first being is that, in fact, the advent of the business and the genesis of the business is based on fractionalization and democratization.
True.
Making retail land available to the consumer in extremely safe and high on quality packets, so that the participation is democratized across demographics, so on and so forth. So fractionalization is actually one of the pillars of the business. And we will continue to drive that with full energy and gusto in years to come. We want to be specialized in that specific area. So democratization of land is a key principle and philosophy of the business. As far as fractionalization understood in a larger context is that usually fractionalization in real estate is seen in asset classes where participation of the retail consumer has large barriers. Participation in high quality asset class in the prime of the market in the city nerve center is difficult for a retail customer because of the pricing, and pricing has predominantly been a very large barrier for consumers to make entry in such high priced, high quality asset. And I would like to say that, I mean, in a real estate environment which is highly regulated, if somebody is able to balance both the regulation and, most importantly, consumer interest, kudos to them for having done that. As far as we are concerned, we will stick to the principle of fractionalization as a business model,
Sure.
and we will keep at it till we make it a phenomena and a rage as far as the country is concerned.
Got it.
And when it comes to the typical definition of the conventional fractionalization, I guess the current mode of fractionalization that we are driving, keeping us extremely busy and driven. So that's what we like to kind of stick to, the current model of fractionalization.
Understood. Understood. Which brings me to the next question, which is this whole category is new, right? And is there any way that you could put some figures to make us comprehend, what is the opportunity area? No, I'm not talking from a point of view of us being here, but there are a lot many developers who might be interested to understand that, what's the market size like? And, currently HOABL is occupying what market share into this whole market? I'm not talking from a perspective of overall, but from the branded land as a category, how big the market is.
I think one of the consistent themes of our conversation has been wealth. I have been consistent with my discourse that land is synonymous to wealth. So I would rather take the question from that standpoint.
Okay.
Any category that promises to create wealth is the category of relevance for us. So typically retail investors have created wealth through bank deposits, through gold, through stock markets, so on and so forth.
Got it.
So, and all of this are multi-billion-dollar categories.
True.
So that's how large the market is for us to dip in, and that is exactly we have been trying to do.
Okay.
So as far as wealth generating categories are concerned, that is the space that we are focusing in, and that is what we intend to do as a brand, to make land and wealth synonymous to HOABL. So that's what our market is. That's how large the pool is. Having said that, if you really consider the branded land category in India is concerned, or rather the organized branded land category is concerned, I would like to believe that the numbers would be anywhere between 55,000-60,000 crores of annual primary sales every year. So yes, while wealth is the category that we look at, but yes, more by convention of definition, that's a category exists from the conventional definition terms.
So based on what you just spoke, I got reminded of what Satya Nadella said, right? Where he mentioned that search mein to Google aaj tak hai, and Bing and Microsoft has not been there. But with ChatGPT, now there's an opportunity to take the revenue pie from them. So when you spoke about how the other asset classes have been there, and you see your market size not from a point of view of what is existing today, but what other people have been investing into different asset classes, and that's the pie you're going for. I believe that's I just got thinking that, this is a great opportunity, and the opportunity could be that large. So now coming to the last two signature questions of the show. And these are my favorite questions, and something that I look forward to, because we have a responsibility of creating awareness around this as well. So the question that I'm going to ask you next is your favorite two prop tech companies from India.
I will slightly modify that question, Govind, and I'll probably say my favorite two tech companies, irrespective of their location, but with presence in the country as well.
Okay.
And both the companies' choice largely germinates from personal experience, where I could see tech come to play. Tech is relatively a new entrant as far as real estate and property is concerned.
Yeah.
But my number one choice, as far as prop tech is concerned, is actually Airbnb. I genuinely believe that what a transformation that they have brought on the back of technology
Yeah.
to make world-class experiences available to consumers
True.
at extremely affordable and simplistic method,
Yes.
and at the same point of time
Yeah.
generating wealth for the owners.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that is one prop tech company that I'm a big fan of, also because of my personal experiences.
Understood.
The second one is a company called as Landdeed. I am a big fan that in an extremely opaque and regulated world of property records, somebody has used technology in a phenomenal way
True.
to make information and insight available for the consumer and thereby enabling decision making.
True that.
So that's something that I'm a big fan of.
Super.
These are two companies that kind of I look up to and try to learn from.
Super.
So I'm glad to say that Landed is there on our guest list, and we are be like in talks with them to get them on the call.
I'll look out for that episode.
I'm pretty sure I'm looking forward to as well, because they're really solving a very important problem. And now, because I could see one day when I was trying to understand that government's initiative to digitize the land records, right? The initiative that has come just the way OCAN or UPI has come, but this will be a transformational phase, and these guys are like sitting there like to lap up what the government builds and top up it what they build. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to be doing. Do we see any kind of synergies? Or have you looked at that, how HOABL and Landed could be synergizing for something? Is there any synergy?
I mean, there are very natural synergies, though we have never spoken to each other.
Okay.
But you never know what kind of. I think a lot of organizations which has technology as a base and are in the same category will connect up with each other.
Absolutely.
And find ways to work together with each other. I genuinely believe that.
No, I'm looking
We'll
forward
always
to that
find a
because,
common ground.
As this whole show has been about, the prop tech companies, they find it tough to actually break into the real estate developer fraternity at times, right? And these synergies, if in case people are able to explore, nothing like it. And
In fact, one point to add here, while we were talking about favorite prop tech or tech companies, is basically the fact that we spoke a lot about tech, which is always piques interest. But at the same point of time, I guess we should mention the importance of data and data centricity.
Absolutely.
My belief is that that companies that are data centric, who are analytic centric, and take their decisions based on data, are the companies which will perform better on financial matrices as compared to companies who do not look at data seriously or do not take data seriously. So the need of tech with data actually will create a phenomenal world for us, and at the same point of time which I genuinely believe will be a key area of strength and development for us to scale in the future.
Definitely, this is one thing that we have really felt, and we sometimes see the power, right? And few developers, wherever that we have interacted, those who are making calls based on data versus purely cut, right? And when the consolidation is happening, the big players who have to do better top line, I believe that will be a great transformational change. And coming from you, I'm pretty sure a lot of real estate developers, marketing guys will be listening to this, and I believe that they will get influenced, and there's certain change that we get to see. Now to the last part of our engagement, and that's the most, you know, a question where people take a lot of time to respond to. So you're free to take a lot of time to respond to, but it is very important. It's a signature question of ours, which is, if House of Abhinandhan Lodha is a person, can you take us through his day from the moment he wakes up to he goes to sleep? Now, you have to keep in mind, you have to tell us a journey where he does everything. You have to talk about everything that happens into the function of the company, while making sure that the vision that you are chasing, it is not getting undermined anywhere. So tell us everything that really goes through this part of the journey, so that we know, and everybody gets to know what is the length and breadth of what HOABL is really up to, and things which are not visible to the normal eye, but those are the places and those are the spaces you guys are operating upon.
I don't think I'm allowed to. This is a family show. I guess I don't have the ability to say any profanities, but I mean F dash dash hashtag. What a question, and really a tough one to do actually.
Yeah.
And I'm really raking my mind that who that person is and what does he.
And you make sure you don't talk
That is
about Abhinandhan Lodha's day, right?
No,
Because he's
no,
going to do it
no, I
from a
mean-
different point of view. I'm talking from purely operational point of view.
I don't know how I don't know how to take that. Let me try to take my own take on this,
Sure.
based on the fact that if the brand, instead of being a person,
Yeah.
is possibly an icon,
Yeah.
for example, then who will it be and what he or she does
Okay.
in a typical day? Whenever I think of HOABL and the adjectives
Yeah.
that are associated with HOABL, it possibly also germinates from my personal choices of my favorite icons and celebrities, so on and so forth. So, if HOABL is a person, I think that person would be somebody like a Roger Federer.
Okay. Okay.
If HOABL is a person, and I have my reasons for that.
Yeah. Okay.
If HOABL was a person, I believe that person would be Kumar Sangakkara. If HOABL is a person, I believe he would be Diego Maradona. So there is a reason why am I saying that. Roger Federer is primarily a reason why we watched tennis, why we started to watch tennis, why did we start to play tennis. And many people, many professional players who are going to be future stars took up the sport of tennis, and a relatively, in fact, intensive individual sport like tennis as their vocation. So what he stood for was I guess grace, was performance, was a mix of art and science, so on and so forth. So yes, HOABL, if it was personified, it would something be like a Roger Federer.
Got it.
Diego Maradona, for example, for the reason that, as I earlier said, I would ideally want branded land and wealth to be synonymous to HOABL. Diego Maradona was responsible for being synonymous to football, not just in Latin America, but across the globe. He just made people watch football from Argentina winning the World Cup in 1986. Kumar Sangakkara, quite a quirky choice, but I have my reason for that.
I'm curious.
What he stood for,
Yeah.
and what he stands for, is that in a country like Sri Lanka, which was probably the last placed team team in the world for a very, very long time, went on to create many firsts in Sri Lankan and world cricket history.
True.
One remembers the famous partnership with Mahela Jayawardena with in excess of 600 plus runs, which is a world record still for any wicket and probably would never be broken.
Yeah.
The other reason also that I really am extremely fond of Kumar Sangakkara is that he has absolutely been non-controversial and loved all over, across teams, across players, so on and so forth. So a much loved brand is something that I would want HOABL to be.
Got it.
And most importantly, I think, imagine a person wicket keeping in one day for 50 overs and then coming back one down to bat.
Yeah.
And in, say, case of test, probably wicket keeping for 90, 100 plus overs, and then again coming back to bat and carry on the burden of the team on his shoulders.
Got it.
Because I don't think Sri Lanka, either in test or in one day, barring a Sanat Jayasuriya, really is famous for their openers,
Yeah.
unlike India or Australia and so on and so forth. So the tenacity and the ability to be at it consistently is something that I commend as far as Sangakkara is concerned. I guess, in a nutshell, the ability to bring art and science together
Yeah.
from Federer,
Yeah.
the ability to be synonymous to the category like Maradona was to football,
Yeah.
and the fact that Sangakkara was so loved, so consistent, so tenacious,
Yeah.
and carrying the burden of the team is a great work value and a brand value that I want probably HOABL to imbue and emulate. So those are my three choices, I guess.
Okay, superb. You have your own way, but I really enjoyed the way you explained. I believe it's very unique the way anybody has answered this question on the couch. So kudos to you. And with that, Sam, thanks a ton. I believe I want to sit on the edit myself, check out, and learn the things that I learned today. And it is always the same. Whenever that I got a time and opportunity to engage with you.
Likewise.
And thank you for coming in. And to all the viewers, I hope you love the episode, because अगर आपकी लाइफ में थोड़े बहुत भी एक्स्ट्रा पैसे और आप सोच रहे हो कहाँ डालना है, you know where to put, because this category is new, and yes, the brand is something that you can really trust. And rest of the value chain, I believe this episode would have explained it to you better. And if in case you have any questions for Sam, feel free to put those into the comment box. We will make sure that we reach out to him, bug him, and get those answers for you. Okay? And thanks a lot for watching us. Thanks a lot, Sam,
Thanks.
for
Thanks, Govind.
being here with us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely.